Good afternoon, everyone. Chill Girl Chrissy here, Alderman in Ward 6. And I'm super excited about today. I'm with my amazing friend, Sandi. She is Kenny and Chris Clark. We all went to school together. His mom, extraordinary woman. She has been a mover and shaker in Manchester and out on the Seacoast. And she's also known as Seacoast Sandi,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Christopher gave me that title, and Kenny. They were like, yeah, Seacoast Sandi, because I'm doing so much on the Seacoast. So.
Which is so amazing. So you have your production company,
Yeah.
Jukwaa, but you're originally from upstate New York?
Upstate New York. So I'm originally from Elmira, New York, and I moved to Manchester, actually in 1979. So it's been a long time.
Wow.
To take care of my grandmother.
Oh.
Who had a heart attack at the time, and I'm one of 10 kids, so we each took time to come up and take care of her. I had the most time, so I ended up spending a lot of time here. Ended up falling after the holidays and wanted to get the boys in school, so I put them in Beach Street School and loved it. I just felt they had, the classrooms were smaller, one-on-one, a lot more one-on-one, so here I am 40-some years later, still in New Hampshire.
Great state of New Hampshire. I
Yes.
love that. And I went to Beach Street School too, but I'm 1 year older than Kenny. And how old is Chris?
Chris is 2 years
2 years younger.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to Beach Street School. I loved it. Only there for 1 year, but it was just so great. And then Hillside.
Hillside.
Did they start?
They
So they started Beach Street and then went to Hillside?
Went to Hillside. Well, actually, Christopher went to Webster.
Yeah.
Webster,
I went
but
to
I think
Webster
that was only
afterwards.
for a year, maybe
Yeah.
1 year, and then Hillside, and then Central.
I love it.
Yeah,
And Central Lights.
Central Lights.
Central
Yep.
Pride.
Absolutely.
Which is so great.
Yep.
So you're an amazing mom, proud mom.
That
two
I am.
Amazing gentlemen.
Yes.
And grandchildren.
Yep. Yep.
And you're a wife, and you're a producer. And I went to one of your shows, House on Fire. Can you share a little bit? That was like so moving and nothing that I've ever experienced before. And I love theater. I would go to New York City on my own. I've just always loved theater. And then the Palace Theater right here in Manchester.
Yep. Very blessed to have it here.
Yeah, what a blessing.
Yeah.
What theater does for all of us in our community.
Absolutely.
You can share a little bit about all your
well, Set the
extraordinary
House on Fire is a gospel concert that I started in 1999 at Seacoast Repertory Theater in Portsmouth. And I wanted to do something to give back for Martin Luther King Day, for civil rights, for my activism. And at that time, New Hampshire had not made it Martin Luther King Day, it was Civil Rights Day. So they hadn't recognized him. And so I continue to, I wanted to do something. So the title came from my mom. My mom used to always say, going to church, she would say, oh, he set the house on fire, or she set the house on fire, or that minister set the house on fire. So when I thought about the gospel concert, setting it on fire is setting the soul on fire, getting you motivated and moved. So that's where the title came from. So the first one I did was at Seacoast Rep. The one you went to was actually at Seacoast Rep. And so I get local talent. I get from Boston, from all over, to come in and share whatever their gift is, whether it's singing. This year I added dance to it, which was phenomenal. So so I do it. And actually, the one that you went to this year was the 25th.
Wow.
25 years of doing that, so.
It was amazing, amazing. And what I actually loved and appreciated can you share a little bit, because you had speakers there and then there was this amazing concert, but then you had people come to life in the audience. So, like, you gave me a quote from Martin Luther King.
Yes.
To speak up, and I was like, I can't say no. You can't say no to Sandi.
And I learned
and
that from other
shy,
elders.
Yeah, and I'm like, honestly, painfully shy. So that was something like, I can't say no, and I just have to overcome my anxiety and fear of speaking up. But can you share about it? Because it was just really unbelievable, and I loved it.
Well, I do also, I now put on the pancake breakfast for the Seacoast NAACP. And I always want to, everything I do in life, I want to include the young people. I always say I'm passing the baton or wanting to get them excited about volunteering and being involved with organizations and standing up for what they believe. So for part of the Martin Luther King celebration, I found, like, there's so many quotes out there, and we printed these quotes, and as people were coming in, and mainly the children, some of the children were pre-planned that they would do it, but they didn't know what they were going to say until that day. So I handed it out, and then I kind of scope out the audience, and you were one that I wanted you to be able to say one of Dr. King. So during the program, at odd times, it didn't matter. Once someone's finished speaking, someone would stand up and say, I have something to say. And I just thought, I get chills when I think about it. It was so moving, especially seeing the young people talk about Dr. King and really feeling what the words that they were repeating to the audience. And the audience loved it as well. And then there was others, you know, politicians that I handed one to. Don't talk political, just read what Dr. King said. So that's where that idea came from.
I loved it, and it was just amazing. And I mean, the room was full.
It was packed, yeah. Both the one in the morning, the pancake breakfast, which was at the church, South Church in Portsmouth, and then the other one that night was at Seacoast Rep, and it was packed. I was pleased.
Full house, house on fire.
House on fire.
I love that story.
Yeah, thank you.
Setting our souls on fire.
Absolutely.
For doing what's right, standing up for what's right.
Absolutely.
And honoring honoring the people that have been fighting for real freedom and, you know, lifting
all of
each
our
other
lives,
up. All of our lives.
Yep, and then some. So it was just one of those things that wanting to be involved with a program, creating it for Dr. King, a memory of him, also came from being a youngster and the March on Washington. And I think I was in 6th grade, so I was like 10 years old, maybe 11, something like that. And I really wanted to go and be involved. And my mother said no. And as I said, I'm one of 10 kids, so she kept the reins in and was kept us close to her. And her feeling was, even though Dr. King's marches were meant to be nonviolent, they didn't always end up that way, so she didn't want to put me in harm's way. But I always felt like there was something missing in my life, something that I should have been doing. And I started getting more involved in activism, going to Portsmouth, because there's so much going on there, and now it's everywhere in the state. So I'm proud of New Hampshire.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, very much so.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So can you share a little bit more about all the other things that you've been doing with, like, theater? Because I think for me, being shy, I was painfully shy in school. I never wanted to raise my hand to answer anything. And I saw that my daughter was struggling when she was younger, Dante, and I got her involved at the Palace Theater and got her into some of the summertime programs. And that just next leveled her. Confidence, feeling comfortable. Can you share a little bit? Because I feel like it was such a blessing to be able to send her there, and I was just so grateful. And, you know, it's like we all need to find our way in life and find our voice.
Right.
So
and you just
the impact of theater is just, besides the amazing talent and entertainment, it's so much more.
It's more than that. And you said it, it's confidence building. Believe it or not, I'm a shy person.
You are?
I am. And you'd never know it, because I can talk, and I think that's a gift from my mother. I didn't realize how much. But yeah, and it does. It builds your confidence and lets you see you for you and accept you the way you are. And then you're around other people, and everyone is different in the world, and that's okay. That's what makes us great, is because we're all different. And being in theater helps you grow that, and confidence is the number one. So I started my theater company again in Portsmouth. I've always my degree is in theater, so I graduated from Elmira College, and my degree is in theater arts. And I wanted to do something with it, especially once the boys were old enough. They were, growing up on their own kind of thing. And so I could feel like I could give it the time, because it is time-consuming, the time that you need. So I started Jukwaa Mazoa Theater Productions. And Jukwaa Mazoa is Swahili, and it just means stage production. So it's another way to say the same thing, but a little more oomph to it.
Yeah,
so,
I love it.
And also, I was looking for an area that's not served, and that's with the BIPOC community, with plays and the theater that was happening in this area anyway. So I wanted to kind of fill what I thought was a gap. So I brought in more ethnic pieces, more women pieces, to celebrate BIPOCs and their relationships with the theater program. So that was the whole premise of the start of it. And building, my mission is to build commonality in the community through performance. And no matter what's going on in the world, theater, you can take those 2 hours, those 2.5 hours, and kind of escape whatever's happening in life and just focus on what's happening on that stage and the folks around you and picking up that vibe. There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like the energy.
There's nothing like it.
So I went to another production that you had in Portsmouth. Which one was that? There was like amazing singers.
I'm trying to think which one, because I do.
I know you have so many. I'm just trying to think.
I'm not sure. I can't remember which one.
You had a bunch of different singers, and it was in that cute theater. Is it the Seacoast Theater?
That was the Seacoast. Yeah.
So it's right there?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so you did it at the church originally for
Right.
the House on Fire.
Right, and then I do the same. So for the
Okay.
pancake breakfast, it's for the NAACP, so it's a fundraiser for them. So
Okay.
what I do is kind of give people a taste of what they'll see that evening. So I had a band and wonderful Jennifer. Her voice was just
Oh, yes.
amazing. She sang, and she was like a little teaser, and then the night was the full program. So I had, and what was nice about this one was that it was almost going full circle, because my first program was at Seacoast Rep, and some of the performers that were there on January 20th were also the very first group that performed at my first concert. So it was like a full circle. So that's what you had seen. But I do, different plays. Right now I'm working on a piece on Ona Judge. I actually was introduced to Ona Judge. Ona Judge was Martha Washington's body slave. And Ona escaped from the Washingtons and ended up in Portsmouth. So her story of survival kind of starts in Portsmouth. And I was in a play then called A Thirst for Freedom. And it was written by Emery Wilson, and he's from Watertown, Massachusetts. And so that was my first introduction. So I fell in love with her, and I was proud of her as, that she did what she did. She left the greatest home in the country. And it was all because she wanted to be free. And people think, well, she was in the Washington household, so she wasn't in the fields and all that, so how hard could life have been? But when you're not free, you're not free. That's the difference, and she wanted her freedom. So different times people ask me to do little excerpts from the play. So I'll be doing one tomorrow night at 3S Art Space in Portsmouth for the Black Heritage Trail. And introducing their panel program about enslaved folks. And I'll be opening that program with a monologue about Ona Judge. And then on the 23rd of this month,
You are so busy.
on the
doing
20
great things.
and enjoying it.
Yeah.
On the 23rd, someone reached out to me, which I didn't know. Dover, New Hampshire is a sister city to Tuskegee. So with the Tuskegee Airmen and the museum that's in Alabama, Dover is a sister city to that. So they're doing their yearly program here in New Hampshire this year. So they asked if I would do, again, something from A Thirst for Freedom. And so I have another actor friend that's going to join me, and we're going to do the powerful scene of when Burwell Bassett, Martha Washington's nephew, comes to Portsmouth to capture her no matter what and take her back. So it's a really great story. And the Black Heritage Trail, I think there was an article I just saw in yesterday's paper that they are now going to do a mural on the side of one of the public buildings of Ona Judge. So that's a lot that I do, and there's more that I do with theater productions.
And it carries on, and people actually learn about history.
Yes.
Which is the beauty.
Yep, absolutely. And it gets
so important. We can't forget, never forget.
Nope.
And overcome and lift people up.
Yep, and tell that story.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that story because it's part of history. It's American history, and that's what we have to deal with, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
It's America, and it's American history that we need to continue to share. Yeah. And I do mine through theater.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it.
Through theater.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's next?
Juneteenth.
Oh yes.
I do.
Can you share about that? Because I've just learned about it recently.
Yeah, Juneteenth actually came about because when they passed that the slaves were free in Texas, they didn't tell them. And continue.
So it was like the first day of actual freedom.
Actual freedom when they found out. So we celebrate Juneteenth and we say it's our 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I still celebrate 4th of July because I love this country and I love, So, but Juneteenth is very special. So on Juneteenth, I do a freedom walk. So from the downtown bridge in Portsmouth, we walk from the John Paul Jones Park so that's in Kittery, over the bridge. We walk the main road, and then we end up at the African Burying Ground, which is just all symbolic. Going over the bridge reminds me of Martin Luther King, his walk over the bridge, just that whole feeling of that. And then this year we'll be led again by the leftist marching band, so they'll lead the group. We'll do some call and response, some cadence. And then walk to the burying ground, and it's less than 1/8 of a mile, so it's not a long walk. But if someone can't walk it, or they're in a wheelchair and they want to be a part, they can join at any portion of the walk when we get to on the way to Strawberry Bank. And then there's a program at Strawberry Bank. At the Black Heritage Trail. I'm getting ahead of myself. At the Black Heritage Trail, and the reason why I brought up Strawberry Bank is that I'm also president of the Seacoast African American Cultural Center, and we will be opening up our exhibition at Strawberry Bank in the Roland Gallery, and it's going to pretty much mirror the exhibit that we have at our location, which is in the Portsmouth Historical Building at 10 Middle Street. So we'll have an exhibition there, but we're going to have a reception there under the tent, and we're going to make it a big Juneteenth celebration, so everyone is invited. That's like at 3 o'clock. So that's June's a busy month, but most of my life is, most of my life is something's always going.
You're involved in so many things in your church.
Yep, in the church. That's with North Star A.M.E Church, so I'm a deaconess there and help the pastor, whatever I could do there. We're a little sad right now because he is retiring, and so we don't know who until Sunday, until the 15th, who will be our new pastor. So, but I'm sure the Methodist Church that they're going to be sending, the bishop will be sending someone great. So we're looking forward to that. And then I'm also involved in the Seacoast NAACP, so I'm on the executive council for that. So I just try to I like to stay busy. I like to keep the mind young and always going. I think when you get too lax in doing things, I don't sit well.
Yeah.
I never have sat well. So. I want to do something that's meaningful, that serves the community, that serves people, and also be an example for the young folks, again, coming up and knowing that there's so many opportunities and so many nonprofit organizations. They need volunteers, and that's one thing. Young, older, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Any age. Volunteering is so heartfelt, and It's necessary.
It's necessary.
It really is.
It
And
really-
it fills our souls.
It really does. It doesn't
fills
fill
our
your
heart.
pocketbook, but it
Right.
does do your soul.
I always say I work for free.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good.
But it's all
But
real good.
there are so many blessings, and then coming together as a community.
Yeah, and supporting
each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
supporting each other and doing whatever, having conversations with folks, doing reading groups, having an area in our space at the Seacoast African American Cultural Center for folks to sit down, read a book, read with their children, read with their students. And the other thing about the Cultural Center is that we're also celebrating 25 years.
Wow.
So this year, our exhibits are focused around the past 25 years, a little bit tidbit from different ones. And unfortunately, we lost our founder earlier this year in February. Yeah, thank you. And but she gave her starting the Seacoast African American Cultural Center in Portsmouth. She also saw a void, like I did with the gospel concert.
Yeah.
She thought something else more needed to be done for people to get together, and all people. They're not just a black organization; they're a people organization, and that's what everyone needs to know. So. We're celebrating her as part of this 25th as well. So there's exhibits. You can go to our website. You
Yes,
can
what's
find
your
out.
website?
It's SAACCNH.org. So that's the Seacoast African American Cultural Center. And you can go on and see some of the activities that are coming up, some of the ones that have passed. The Juneteenth Walk is not updated yet, but it will be by this weekend.
Okay, so
But
after
it's
this weekend.
after this weekend.
And so what time is that at?
We're gathering at 9:30 at the John Paul Jones Park, and then we will start our walk at 10 a.m.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's such a great feeling, and you're bringing all these people together. And we make signs. The signs are healthy signs, just talking about freedom and love, and people can bring a tambourine or they can bring an instrument and play, and they can walk with their dog. It's everybody. Everybody's invited.
Everyone's welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
It's for everyone.
Yep, absolutely.
And so what else?
Oh my
For
gosh.
wait, we haven't talked about your roots. Well, a little bit in Manchester.
Right.
But We Are One. I know we have like 5 minutes left. Brendan's telling me.
Okay.
But We Are One, because I was part of. I had a booth there for a few years in a row.
Right.
The festival.
The festival,
which was amazing.
Yeah, years ago I did the the African Caribbean Festival. Now it is called the We Are One. So I know folks that are involved with that, and it's a wonderful opportunity for people to get together from all different nationalities. And again, it's entertainment. To share with the community. People come out and have a good time. So I'm involved with that with Shantae Woodard. She I think she's still the chair of that We Are One. So yeah, and you're there with your goods and you just talk about, you meet so many different people.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I do, which I'm just going through all of this, I am busy. But
Doing
I enjoy,
great things.
is my gift shop. I have a
Oh,
pop-up
yes.
gift shop. I squeeze that in whenever I can. And normally I try to do it at the mall, but only at the holiday times, and then different events. Like I'll be doing, July 25th, we're going to be doing part of our exhibit with SAC, a new exhibit. It's called Crown. Crown. So you'll be seeing black hairdressers, braiding hair, learning those techniques, cutting hair, and then we're going to do more of like an expo. So it's just going to be fun.
I love it.
And we're going to
When's
have a
that?
table of vendors there on July 25th. That's
July
at 3S Art Space.
Okay, where's that?
That's right in Portsmouth. It's
Okay.
where the old Portsmouth Herald used to be, behind that building. There's
Okay.
new buildings there. There's a great taco restaurant in the building. So
Love tacos.
yeah, so that's going to be an
Okay.
incredible
So can
event.
pretty much everyone find that information at SAACCH.org?
And if you come down and visit us, we're open daily 10 to 4. If I don't have a volunteer, if anybody's interested in volunteering, please contact
Which
me.
is awesome.
Yeah. You can still go in. There's brochures that has all the information. And like I said, the website should be completely updated with all these various events that are happening.
All these great fun
Great,
events,
yeah.
honoring each other's cultures.
Yes.
and lifting people up.
Exactly.
And connecting.
And connecting.
Connecting.
And
That's
connecting.
the most important thing.
Yep, absolutely.
I love it.
This is great.
It is so great.
It's so good to have time to to
I
chit chat.
know,
Like
I
I didn't
know.
know how this was gonna go. Or
I know.
I said, what are we gonna talk about?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
It
so.
is. It's so well. That's how I started my show. Is the Chill and Heal show. It's just all about connecting
Yeah.
and talking. And I was standing behind the chair one day, and I'm like, there's a wealth of information and great people that I talk to all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'd love to take these conversations and just put them. I did do the radio for a little while, and then I got this opportunity at Manchester Public Access TV, and I'm so grateful for Jason and Brendan to be able to do this. So I've been doing this, I think it's been a year and a half, I think, for the actual show here.
Yeah.
But I did the radio before. But it's so great because it's like, you know, it's real.
Yes.
It's
a
real.
wonderful opportunity. Yeah.
And then we learn different things from each other.
Yeah.
And lift each other up. And
So
it's
this
just
is
nice.
part of your chill.
Yes.
Yeah.
My chill spa.
Your
Yeah.
chill spa. Yeah. Nice.
So that's how, you know, because it's like everyone knows your name and
Yeah,
nice
right.
to share and connect.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Which is so nice. Sandy, thank you so much for coming on. This was
Thank you so much for
excellent.
having me here. I'm
You
really
are,
happy.
You are a shining bright light
Aw.
for so many people.
Thank you.
And God bless Manchester. Do you want anything to say?
No, but you're saying it. God
Oh
bless
my
Manchester.
God.
Yes.
God bless Manchester.
New Hampshire, the country.
Yes.
You know.
Everyone.
Everyone.
We're going to lift each other up,
Absolutely.
shine on, and
Yeah.
do what's right.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you. Have a
Just
great day.
yeah.